Yes, welcome to Capacity TV. I'm Alan Burkitt-Gray. I'm editor-at-large of Capacity Magazine. We've got Michael Ourabah of BSO. He's CEO of BSO. Welcome. And we've also got Anna Flach, who is the Global Marketing Director of BSO. So welcome, Anna. Welcome, Michael. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Hi, Alan.
Thank you, Michael. Let's go on and talk to you about BSO and what you're offering. So, you're rebranding. Why rebranding? Why now?
Very good question. We've been through so many different cycles on the of the company since we founded the company back in 2004, and especially since 2017, we've been acquiring 3 companies and been growing extremely fast, extremely quickly, spreading the network globally into many more locations, especially into the emerging markets. And we felt that we had not properly transitioned the whole acquisition cycles into a new, strong, efficient brand that really demonstrates what the values and what BSO is to the customers, especially in that ever-changing environment with the pandemic and the new normal, as everybody likes to say it and call it these days. And the digital transformation has accelerated even further throughout this pandemic. And we felt that it was the right time to give a new freshener to our brand and who we are to embrace that fast track digitalization of everything.
Can you tell us why and when you founded BSO?
So I founded BSO back in 2004. So we've been in business for about 17 years now.
That's good track record in this digital age.
It is, yes, it is, and the inception is an interesting story. Charles and I met when we were pretty young in high school, despite being in 2 different regions in France. I was in Paris, him in Bordeaux, but we joined again face to face when we were in college in the same IT engineering school in Paris. And whilst we were studying, we felt that looking at the global telecom and infrastructure outlook, there was a real need for a telecom operator that understood clearly the value added that enterprise customers were looking for from the telecom supplier. And we wanted to better the customer experience, better the state-of-the-art solutions, rather than just being a commoditized telco that's just going to push products that a marketing team has decided and invented, rather than leverage the technology and the infrastructure platform that one can have and give something that's specifically fit for purpose, combining a product and a tailor-made solution.
Anna, as your head of marketing, what's your view of changing the branding and how this reflects what BSO is doing in the future?
Yes, I mean, maybe just to kind of add to why are we rebranding now? So, I mean, as Michael was saying, a lot has changed since we last updated our brand in 2016. BSO has gone through significant growth since then, organically and inorganically through various acquisitions. And today, with over 240 data centers and POPs across 33 countries, we've become one of the largest privately owned telecommunications companies worldwide. Our product portfolio has expanded to not only network connectivity, but also cloud solutions, providing a dedicated, secure and low latency connection to the cloud and cloud to cloud, and building our own cloud infrastructure, as well as hosting managed services and consulting solutions, and always specific and dedicated to each client served. We now number almost 150 people. We have over 20 nationalities and we speak more than 15 languages. So I really love the diversity that BSO has.
And right. How many of those languages do you speak? Or is that an awkward question?
I speak maybe 4 of those: English, yep, German, French, and a bit of Portuguese.
Okay.
Where I think, yeah, I mean, French is definitely a key language at BSO as well, which brings us forward. But yeah, no, that's a real plus of the company, and it kind of reflects, that international growth story as well as how entrepreneurial everyone still is. It's something that really struck with me when I first joined, and I think that should be reflected externally as well.
Okay, Anna, Tell me how you've adjusted to, as a company and as a marketing strategy, to cater for what's been going on in 2020 and into the first half, I guess, nearly of 2021 with the pandemic.
Yes, I mean, let's not forget that businesses have gone through a huge transformation in 2020, hit by a global pandemic that really forced companies online overnight. So digital transformation wasn't simply an agenda item anymore, or a boardroom priority. It really became an absolute imperative, a must to thrive and survive for companies. So taking into consideration BSO's growth journey on the one hand, and then also how rapidly the world is changing, it became clear to us that it was the right time to reconsider our value proposition, to rethink who we are and how we're different. And the visual identity goes with that as well. And that needed a refresh, and needed to really reflect this shift of who we are today and what we stand for, which is much more than a telco provider. We're really building the infrastructure of tomorrow. We're fully supporting our customers to thrive and survive in this new normal. And we're delivering and hosting and managing their mission critical data.
That's
so, yeah, really, really excited to be launching that new powerful brand in 2021.
Tell us about, you've got a slogan, Build for Better, which tunes in with what a lot of people have been saying in these pandemic months that we've been enduring. What is your version of Built for Better? What are you hoping to achieve?
Yeah, Built for Better. Most of the time, as I was saying, businesses are forced to choose between the best technology or the best service. Bespoke solutions are out of the box, off the shelf products, global reach or local knowledge. Our goal is really to bring the convergence of all these three aspects into one. Having a global reach and a global network that covers over 300 POPs worldwide in over 50 countries. We understand the complexities and the regulatory environment for customers and for us to operate in these countries, in India, but also in Lithuania, in South Africa, in Latin America, in Europe, America, Asia, Australia. That global footprint, basically, you need to understand the local customs and the local regulatory obligations to serve the client. But hence you need to be local and have people in the field locally to deploy, to understand, to match these requirements. But you also need to address your own customer needs, which culturally most of the time has a decision center that's based in Western Europe or North America when they make their big IT or telecom decisions and investments. So combining these two together is something that's really meaningful. But that's just on the, acting global whilst thinking local as well, and vice versa. But there's also everything related to the product themselves. As I said, we've built that global platform. We have a global layer 1 OTN networks that covers all these 300 POPs globally. A transport layer 2 network, an SDN layer 3, layer 2.5, 3 networks, and an IP network. That global coverage, there's not many carrier that can fully on net automatically deliver something from 100 gig OTN wave between Johannesburg to Calgary or St. Petersburg to Mumbai on net, all delivered within a few hours if really it is necessary. Most of the big incumbent telcos are going to have these global footprint with only 1 or 2 locations in the specific regions without going deep into it. And they're going to own the underlying asset, but not have the granularity of the flexibility, the ease of doing business with a global MSA in one region and spreading out worldwide. All that combined with the ability to leverage that infrastructure and give the client exactly the product they need instead of something off the shelf is really what makes the make or break for customers.
Anna, what do you mean by Build for Better? What's your idea as a marketing person?
Yeah, sure. Well, I would say that we went through a thorough rebranding process, and part of that was really to reflect on our purpose. Why do we exist, right? I think that's really, really important to for any purpose-driven and led company these days. So it actually ties in very firmly with why BSO was founded in the first place, which Michael just explained. And it was to found a global high performance, high availability network with client satisfaction at the core and delivering the lowest latency in the market. So what really started as a small company has now become a market leading infrastructure and connectivity provider, serving the most demanding businesses and in the most regulated industries worldwide, capital markets included. So to figure out what our real purpose was in 2021 was actually the result of many conversations, internal stakeholder interviews and workshops. But then we thought, I mean, who would be better placed than our customers to actually confirm whether our internal view was right? So we went out and we asked our customers and partners. And the result of these conversations was really astonishing, because we found they really value BSO for the state-of-the-art products and our customer service. That was the result of every conversation that we had. And one client even said that we were a sort of Goldilocks provider. So, I mean, I only became British last year, but I think the Goldilocks tale of the size and just being right is familiar to many people here in any case. And so they explained to us that they thought BSO was really big enough to provide global complex infrastructure, but small enough to respond to individual needs as well. So we made it our purpose and commitment to really continue to deliver this excellent tech and excellent customer service that our customers have come to expect from us.
What are your plans in the future? What are your, now you've got a new brand, you've got this amazing network. What are you planning to do in the near future?
Keep expanding, to be honest with you. As I was saying, we mainly focused on providing enterprise connectivity and telecom services. So let's call it the Fortune 5000, if we want to embrace a bit more than the Fortune 500 companies. As long as the company has a mission critical application that they need to run on infrastructure that needs to be highly resilient, highly performant, and have very specific and unique USPs, then we're the company that can support that. We're never going to go and bid, for example, for providing a global MPLS network to cover and connect 10,000 ATMs nationwide in the US, but providing that key infrastructure between the stock exchanges all around the US with low latency, diversity, a resilience that's built down to the point of entry and every single meter of fiber in the ground, where we identify all the paths everywhere in the world. That's where we bring a lot of value. And we've been doing that for the financial and capital markets. And that rebranding is really opening us up towards more vertical markets. And so addressing the other vertical and the needs that they might have for their core business. And secondly, it's also starting to try and address all these markets horizontally with products that are not fit for a specific vertical, but instead that can answer the need of any type of businesses and any type of companies, and go more into some more mainstream type products that are going to still have these high SLA that we've been educating and giving to our clients for years and giving them that value add. But now having something that's a little bit more easy to sell for our salespeople, for our customers to understand, and that can address a lot wider audience. So that's really our goal here, was that rebranding and what we have in the boxes going forward. Of course, without losing our DNA, that's growing the network, expanding footprint, continue to go deeper into the metros and the regions, and continue to go widespread around the world into areas where we're not really dense. We need to focus heavily on more of Africa, that's for sure, because outside of South Africa and Morocco, we don't really have much presence.
There's a lot of Africa between South Africa and Morocco.
Absolutely, there's a lot of Africa in between. So we need to give it a good thought and see how we can penetrate that. Obviously, there's a complex dynamic when it comes to the go-to-market, the regulatory environment, the competition, how we can penetrate these without stepping on the toes of the incumbents. And it's always been an interesting topic, by the way, entering a new market, entering a new emerging market, because you need to demonstrate to the incumbent that partnering with you, them giving you sub-license to operate in their country is actually going to be beneficial for them, because they're going to be able to upsell and address a small piece of the market that's underserved at the moment, and where they're not able to really penetrate it or extract the maximum value add out of it. because they don't know how to serve the SLA, how to serve these customer base. They buy from them, but they buy just the bare minimum to survive, rather than leverage that as a platform for growth on the long term that's sustainable. So that's something that's always a challenge. And outside of Africa, we also have to improve in Latin America. At the moment, we have a small footprint that's spread between Brazil and Mexico. And we have partnership with Latin America carriers that enables us to extend from these 2 countries into another 7 countries. But as usual, if you want to maintain and have a proper SLA for your clients, especially with the mission critical applications we sell, you need to operate the network yourself. So over the next 2 years, we will focus at deploying our OTN footprint in all these 7, 8 additional countries in Latin America, and have proper layer 1 control as well.
Michael Ourabah, CEO of BSO, and Anna Flach, who is the Global Marketing Director. Thank you very much for joining us on Capacity TV.